Hey there, it's me. What if all the oceans disappeared? The Earth is often referred to as the blue planet due to the striking amount of ocean that covers its surface. In fact, over 70% of Earth's surface is covered by the sea. And yet we still don't know much about the deep ocean depths. What would happen if the seas suddenly disappeared from the face of the Earth? How would the Earth's crust change without the pressure exerted by thousands of meters of water? Would humanity be able to survive in such conditions? Let's find out in today's episode of What If. Show breathtaking visuals of oceans. Oceans are fundamental to life on Earth, covering over 70% of the planet's surface and containing over 97% of Earth's water. They play a vital role in regulating the global climate, absorbing carbon dioxide, and supporting diverse ecosystems. Oceans are a source of food, energy, and resources, impacting weather patterns and shaping Earth's geography. From the smallest plankton to the largest whales, the ocean teems with life adapted to various depths and conditions. Human activities like pollution and climate change threaten these fragile ecosystems, highlighting the need for conservation and sustainable practices. Understanding and appreciating the ocean's importance is crucial for our planet's health and our own survival. Show Earth from space with a close-up of the Pacific Ocean. What if all the oceans in the world suddenly evaporated overnight? What would we see when we looked at the Earth? It would look like a planet covered in dry land, similar to Mars or the Moon. We couldn't even recognize our home planet. But let's imagine that we were lucky enough to witness this spectacle live. What would we see? The first thing that would catch our eye would be how much land appears after the Pacific Ocean evaporates. Stretching from north to south, it would be the largest area we could see from the Earth's surface. In the Western Hemisphere, the Pacific Ocean covers an area of 165 million square kilometers. That's equivalent to almost 32 million square kilometers more than the entire continental United States. Now, let's take a look at Africa. Without the Atlantic Ocean, it would look smaller than we're used to. On the other hand, Europe would seem bigger, almost connected to Asia. After the Atlantic disappears, some people might get confused and think they're looking at the moon, but it wouldn't just be empty space where the ocean was. It would be like stepping into another world, a completely different reality. We'd see giant cracks in the ground caused by the absence of water, similar to those found in deserts like Atacama. But what else would we notice? Areas that were once covered by the Atlantic Ocean, like London and New York, would be so close together that we could easily cross them on foot. No more boats or planes needed. This ocean currently separates to continents, but without water, everything would be different. The Sahara Desert in Africa and the Arabian Desert in Asia would meet, forming a huge sandy plain. But the strangest thing of all would be the Arctic. As the Arctic Ocean evaporates, Alaska would suddenly find itself linked to mainland Russia, creating a connection between North America and Eurasia. At that moment, Siberia and Manhattan would be closer to each other than California and Hawaii. If this happened in real life, we would witness something incredible, a complete transformation of our planet. Entire countries and continents would vanish. Some places would become uninhabitable, while others would offer opportunities to explore new territories. For example, many companies would start selling tours to walk across the former Atlantic Ocean bed. You can already imagine the ads. Imagine walking on water, crossing from Europe to America on foot. Book your tour now. But what would really happen if the oceans disappeared? Let's find out. While it may seem intriguing to picture a world without oceans, it's important to recognize that such a scenario is not only highly unlikely, but also disastrous. The disappearance of oceans would have catastrophic consequences for life on Earth. As we know, our planet is largely covered in water, which plays a vital role in sustaining life and regulating the climate. Without oceans, Earth would become a barren and inhospitable wasteland. One of the most immediate impacts would be extreme temperature swings. Oceans help moderate temperatures by absorbing and releasing heat. Without them, we'd experience scorching heat during the day and freezing cold at night. Coastal areas would become inhospitable due to extreme temperature fluctuations and high winds. Furthermore, the loss of oceans would lead to massive desertification. Oceans are a primary source of freshwater through the water cycle. Without them, rainfall and cloud formation would cease, leaving Earth dry and desert-like. Desertification would not only affect plant life, but also wildlife and human settlements, leading to widespread food shortages and mass extinctions. Oceans are also responsible for distributing heat around the globe, moderating temperatures and creating weather patterns. Without oceans, weather systems would be disrupted, leading to extreme weather events, including intense storms, droughts, and floods. Such disruptions would devastate agriculture, infrastructure, and ecosystems, posing significant challenges to human survival. Ocean currents play a crucial role in regulating global temperatures and weather patterns. Without oceans, these currents would cease to exist, leading to drastic temperature changes and extreme weather events. Many coastal regions would become uninhabitable due to rising sea levels caused by melting glaciers and ice caps, displacing millions of people. Without the buffering effect of oceans, Earth would be more susceptible to the impacts of solar radiation, potentially damaging the ozone layer and increasing the risk of skin cancer among humans. Moreover, the loss of oceans would have a devastating impact on marine life, causing the extinction of countless fish species, coral reefs, and other marine organisms. Coastal ecosystems such as mangrove forests would also disappear, affecting coastal communities and biodiversity. Humanity would face a multitude of challenges, including water scarcity, food shortages, and mass migration, potentially leading to conflicts over resources. Transportation routes and trade would be significantly impacted as seaports and shipping lanes would become obsolete. Global connectivity and economic activity would be disrupted, leading to widespread poverty and instability. In essence, the disappearance of oceans would trigger a cascade of catastrophic events, rendering Earth lifeless and uninhabitable. It is a grim reminder of the vital role oceans play in sustaining life and the dire consequences we would face without them. Let's imagine that after the oceans disappeared, humans decided to continue living on Earth, despite all the difficulties. What would we need to do to survive in such conditions? First, we have to deal with extreme temperatures. Without oceans, days would be unbearably hot and nights incredibly cold. So we'd need to invent new materials to protect ourselves from the sun's rays and keep us warm at night. Additionally, we'd need to find new sources of water. Perhaps we could collect rainwater, but that might not be enough. We'd need to look for underground water sources or develop new technologies to extract moisture from the air. Food would also be a major challenge. With the disappearance of the oceans, many species of fish and other marine animals would die off, meaning we'd lose a significant source of protein. We'd need to find alternative sources of nutrition or risk starvation. Another issue would be transportation. Currently, many countries depend on ocean-based trade routes to transport goods and resources. Without oceans, these routes would become useless and we'd need to find new ways to move around. Perhaps we could use air or land-based transportation, but that would require developing new technologies and infrastructure. In short, if the oceans disappeared, we have to completely change the way we live. We need to find new ways to grow food, new sources of water, new ways to keep ourselves safe, and new methods of transportation. It would be a true test of human ingenuity and adaptability. But the question remains, would it even be worth it? Could we really survive in such harsh conditions? Or would it be better to seek a new home somewhere else in the universe? In conclusion, the idea of all the oceans disappearing is a terrifying prospect. It highlights the vital role oceans play in sustaining life on Earth. From regulating the climate to supporting diverse ecosystems, oceans are essential for our planet's balance. The potential consequences of their loss, including extreme weather, rising sea levels, and mass extinctions, serve as a reminder of their importance. It is crucial that we understand and appreciate the value of our oceans and take action to protect them from the threats we face today. Through conservation efforts, sustainable practices, and a reduction in pollution, we can ensure that future generations can continue to marvel at the beauty and wonder of the ocean.